Hello, everyone, and welcome in the next postgraduate live stream of the day. This one is all about the courses starting in January that are available at DMU. My name is Marta, and I work in the business and law faculty marketing team, and I'll be your host today. I'm not an expert, and I can't tell you much about the courses starting in January, so I brought two very much well-informed academics with me that will be able to give you a bit of an insight of what's available if you're planning and want to come and study with us quite soon. So I will bring Stephen Parker, that is our wonderful academic in public policy. Hello, Stephen. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. Marta.
And then, yeah, hi. And then we've got another academic that I will be bringing today, Jenny Jordan, Associate Professor in Creative and Culture Industries.
Hi, thanks very much for inviting me. I'm really looking forward to sharing our Creative Industries Master's Programme with you.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. So we'll be here for another 30 minutes, hopefully a little bit longer if you've got any questions for us. And if you do have any questions or whilst our academics are presenting and you want to ask anything in regards to that, feel free to post a comment and we'll be able to answer that at the end of the live stream, the Q&A session. So I think it would be best if we start. Stephen, are you okay to give us a little bit of an insight about the courses that you're teaching that students can apply for the January intake?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine, Marta. So I'm going to talk mainly about the master's degree in project management, but also I'm currently developing a new master's degree in public leadership and management. So just to tell you why, my background is I worked in local government for more than 20 years, originally as a social worker, but then I moved into project management and developed an interest in policy development. And so I've got a keen interest between the relationship between project management and public policy. So firstly, I will focus on the project management master's degree. So at De Montfort University, we run a master's degree in project management, which starts 2 times a year, in September and in January. Now, this is a very popular course, and I have some brilliant students on it, students from here in the UK, but also from all over the world, who work in many, many different areas of practice. So, for example, at the moment, I've got students who are interested in construction project management from Nigeria. I've got some IT project managers from Poland. But I've also got local government project managers from England as well. So I have a keen sort of, I have many different interests in my course. And also I have students who are, have just moved from their undergraduate degrees, but also students who have got several years practice in project management. So there's a very good mix. So what is project management? Now, this is a very we will be here all day, but in essence, project management is about what is called a temporary organisation. So we have to sort of make it different from operations management. So one would think of operations management as the day-to-day business of an organisation. You know, if you were selling a product and so forth, developing a product, that you would just have the operations of that. However, project management can be seen to be something that comes along and puts in a temporary phase, or what's called a temporary organisation. So you may decide that you want to design a new product or develop a new service in public services. So you say, between January and March this year, we're going to have a project on this particular focus. So this is about this temporary organisation. And my course is very much about how do we think about considering what we want to change, about how we plan and analyse what we need, how we then move into a phase of implementing that project, and lastly, how we would evaluate that project. So this is what project management is about. So I will tell you a little bit now about some of the modules, and this will help you to understand more about project management as well. So if you chose to do the master's degree in project management, in the first semester, you would take the core module called project management. So this, in essence, is an introduction to project management. So within this, you would learn in detail about the scope and definition of a project, its significance, an instrument of change, and the roles and responsibilities of people within a project. You would also be introduced to different project management tools. For example, work breakdown structures, Gantt charts, what we call rating matrices, stakeholder and risk management, and so forth. So you would be introduced to a number of different tools that a project management manager would apply in their project. But also, we would be discussing things about what is called the life cycle of a project, about the different phases of a project, so how a project is born, about how it matures, and how eventually it ends, and all of the issues that are involved in that. Also, although we talk about this in more detail later on in the course, we'll be talking about some of the issues about power and projects, because projects are also sites, places where there can be many sort of different views of different stakeholders who are not always clear about the project that they are trying to implement. So you will be introduced to these issues in semester 1, and that will be one module. The other 3 modules, you would be take the module Accounting for Managers, which would provide you with an overview of accounting and finance issues. And within this, you would write a report, but you would also get involved in what is called a business simulation, where you do some group work. In semester 1, you would also do research methods, where would you learn about postgraduate research in depth in preparation for your dissertation or your business research project that you would do the following year. And lastly, in semester 1, you would do a module on risk management. So this, again, would be dealing with some of the issues that I'm focusing on risk in project management. But whereas in project management, one talks about risk project management, talking more broadly about risk management would help you to understand the notion of risk within organizations. So this would help to deepen your understanding. Moving on to the second semester after Christmas, you would then take another 4 modules. 2 of these will be compulsory. So firstly, you would take my course, which is called Project Management Case Study Analysis. And this is where you would write about a project of your choice in depth. Now, in this module, you would write about this project, but I would be helping you to understand advanced project management theory, which is called project studies and projectification, where I would get you to look in depth at what a project is into society and the value that it provides to society, but also some of the disbenefits, how a project can sometimes damage society. Also, you would take a course called Project Management Skills, and this is with my colleague Ros Lishman, and this is very much about you developing your own CV and portfolio about your interests, and then you would work on these, and it would help you to apply for jobs when you finish. And also, you would have 2 electives, a choice of 3 electives, I should say: Global Supply Chain Management, Business Creation and Innovation, and Managing Organizational Change. So at this point, you wouldn't have to make a decision, and I could help to guide you with your choices if you like. In your 3rd semester, you would then write what we call a 60-credit dissertation or business research project. This is where you focus on a particular problem or research problem in more depth. In a dissertation, you would find a topic yourself or a research question and write about it. And in a business research project, you will be assigned a problem within a company, and you would act as a consultant on that specific problem. So this is the structure of my course, if you are interested in a brief introduction to project management. Just for another minute, so you're aware, I'm currently designing a new master's degree. This is a different master's degree, as I said, in public leadership and management. So this will be a 2-year part-time course. But I'm already having some interest from some students who are undergraduates as well as practitioners. This course is focused at those students or practitioners who are passionate about working in public services and about what public services such as the council and other public service bodies in the private and the voluntary sector add to society, what sort of things they add to society. So within this new master's degree that I'm working on, there would be 5 core modules. The first one is leading change, and this is how public services actually think about what change is needed within, for example, their city and their locality or their organisation to help them to think about how they can increase public value. Secondly, there will be a module on empowering communities, and this focuses on what we call co-production and citizen participation, how we work in partnership with citizens to develop new services within society. Thirdly, we have a module which is called collaborative innovation, and this focuses on the complex web and map of different partnerships between different types of bodies, government, the private sector, the voluntary sector, about all these different organisations, the public, how we work together in partnership and make sure that we can agree priorities. And fourthly, the module that I will lead on is called Designing Public Services. And this is how we think about what public services are needed in society and how we actually develop and procure them, or whether we actually keep them within our own organisation. So here we'll be talking about things such as commissioning and procurement, about hybrid organisations where you get public and private organisations mixed together, and just about the issues, but also the personal interactions of the organisations and the service users. And lastly, on the new MA, we have a module called a project, a policy portfolio, which is where you will do an in-depth study of a problem that you have identified and write about a particular problem and how it links to theory. So keeping them separate, today I've given a talk firstly on the MSc in project management, which is a very, very popular MSc. And secondly, I've just briefly touched on the new MA in public leadership and management that we are currently working on. So thank you very much. I'm welcome to take any questions. Thanks very much, Marta.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Rookie mistake. I'll put the links to both of
Cheers,
your
thank
courses in the chat if anyone is interested. And I know Stephen needs to. Oh, sorry, that was my cat. I know Stephen needs to go. Other responsibilities, unfortunately,
all right, thanks. Cheers. Yeah,
so
and
thank you so
thanks,
much
Marta,
for
for
giving
inviting
us
me.
a bit of a.
Take care, Jenny. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Not
Bye.
a
Bye,
problem.
everybody. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. So I just posted the links to both of the courses that Stephen is teaching on if you want to find out more about it. And then Janie, are you okay to give us a little bit more of an insight into the courses that you teach that students can apply for the January intake?
I am. Looking forward to it. So I'm an associate professor in creative and cultural industries. A bit like Steve, I have a background working in the creative and cultural industries before I moved into academia to study the sector and to try and understand how things worked. And I remain passionate about those kind of questions of how and why things happen within the creative and cultural sectors and how students can go out and make careers making things work better. So the Msc Creative Enterprise, which is starting in January, will be renamed for the September 2021 start, the Msc Creative Industries (Management and Enterprise). the same program, just a new title to make it clearer what the focus of the program is. So the course runs as a 12-month course with the September start, as a 18-month course for the January starts, and we also offer a part-time route for September starts as well, which is 2 years. The course prepares students who take it for a career as an entrepreneur or an innovative manager within a creative industry business. The creative and cultural industries are large and growing sectors globally. It includes the music industry, film and TV, social media, performing arts, theatres and festivals, design, including digital design of various sorts, gaming, advertising and publishing, amongst others. And the purpose of this program is that graduates are qualified to work in behind the scenes roles in things like marketing, communications and PR, in running events, in artist and repertoire, so finding new talent, in producing or other areas of project or organizational management, or as entrepreneurs running startups. The key to what makes this different from a project management program such as Steve's is that this is very much focused within a sector. So we are looking at what makes the creative industries different from the building industry or car manufacture or high-tech sectors, for example. So that's the focus, but it's a focus within that sector, but it's a focus on business management and entrepreneurship. So how to make a living or manage a business in the creative industries, rather than how to be a creative or a designer within the creative industries. So we look at questions of how to capture value, how to capture the value of cultural goods through business models based on copyright and trademark, for example, and we look at how to motivate workers to be more creative while also keeping a focus on the bottom line, or how to manage innovation using creative technology. So how to make sure that businesses remain up to date in such a fast moving area where all products are constantly being reviewed, subject to changes in taste and differences in global supply chains. And it's a really interesting program. We have students and we welcome students from creative media and design backgrounds, so practical, skill-based undergraduate programs, and we find that those students thrive. But we also welcome students from business studies, HRM backgrounds, and from things like social sciences, human geography, and so on. The program is based in the humanities and social sciences, so it does require students to have an understanding of some of those ideas and to be comfortable with a reasonable amount of academic reading and essay writing, report writing, those kind of things, and to work closely with their peers in seminars and group works and with tutors. So one of the things about master's study at De Montfort University as a whole is that we have regular one-to-one meetings with students through our tutorial system. So we are very engaged with our master's students, seeing you as people working with us just at an earlier stage of your careers. Assessments across the program are quite varied. So we have essays, we have reports, but we also have things like blogs and vlogs, presentations, and things like designing web pages or writing strategic marketing plans. The program is innovative in having this focus on business management within the creative and cultural sectors, and we like to keep that innovation going by having modules which include live business problems to make sure that students know what is happening in the industry now. So a lot of our assessments will encourage students to work with businesses in the creative sector, working on live business problems, on things like pitches, on writing business strategies, on solving live business problems. And we have a range of final major projects that students can take depending on their interests, so we have an entrepreneurship project, which is a dissertation equivalent, which allows students to set up or research and develop a business plan for a company that they might want to launch upon graduation. Or we have the Executive Company Project, which is an internship working with a host organization, researching a business problem that they have and suggesting solutions. We have the Consulting Project, which allows students to work remotely with host organizations on solving a live business problem. And we have the Creative Research Project, which is focused on for those students who come from a creative background and might want to produce a concept for a new festival, for example, or a set of web pages for a new business that they have. And we encourage that. So we had a student this year who did her research into how immersion in gaming encourages people to participate more fully, and she produced that as a documentary film. So a range of different kind of approaches that we encourage within this creative program and the Creative Research Project. So there's different options that people can take that. So, but before you get to the final major project, the dissertation equivalent project, there are 5 core creative industry modules on this program. These include 2 modules which focus on how the creative industries work. One from how the environment which in creative industries operates, so things like networking and creative quarters and the technological environment, the political environment, the social environment, and so on. And another module which is on how creative businesses operate internally, so how they're managed and what their business models might be. We have a module on intellectual property management, which looks at things like copyright and trademarking and how you can use those intellectual property laws to make sure that you retain the financial value of the ideas that your businesses create. We have a research methods module, which is called Investigating Creative and Cultural Industries, where we ask students to look at creative ways of undertaking research and sharing their findings. And we introduce you to specific sources of information that relate to the creative and cultural sectors. We have another module called Creative Technologies, where you are introduced to the way that technology is affecting how the creative industries operate. So things like the Internet of Things and web design and so on. And that's quite a practical module that encourages you to get to know a little bit about how those technologies might shape and influence the companies that you are working with and the opportunities that will come from that. And we have one module that's a core module, which is within the purely business sector, which is called Developing Enterprise, which is about how to set up and run a new business, or how to operate entrepreneurially within an existing business, how to set up new products and services within that. You then have 2 elective modules, 1 per semester. So in the September semester, those electives are focused on marketing. So we have marketing for the creative entrepreneur, which is for students who have no marketing background. Integrated brand management is for those of you who might have some marketing background at undergraduate, and design as a strategic business tool takes that a little bit further. If you have done a marketing degree, for example, we would want you to take that and build your marketing understanding into a strategic planning tool. In the spring semester, there are electives looking at innovation in the creative industries and how to manage that. An elective where we work with Curve Theatre in Leicester, which is one of the UK's top 10 producing theatres, which makes work and works with commercial theatre companies like Andrew Lloyd Webber's company to put on new shows which then transfer to the West End. And in that module, you get set a live business problem by the chief executive of Curve Theatre about how he can maintain a balance of commercial income plus also serve the needs of the local community in Leicester. And students are asked to propose solutions and then pilot those solutions before presenting back to the chief executive and the senior management team of the theatre. We have a managing business web presence module for people that are interested in understanding how online marketing works and how brands can maintain consistent relationships with customers. And those of you that are interested in international marketing, we have a global markets module. And then we have a cultural policy and planning module for people who are interested in understanding why governments get involved in the creative and cultural sectors and how you can influence that. So that's the kind of overview of the modules themselves. We also have a whole set of extracurricular activities. So we run a creative career chat series where we bring in speakers who are working within the creative industries. So some that we're bringing in this year include a screen composer and entrepreneur from Toronto, and a music industry consultant who does a lot of work in digital communications from Berlin. We've got a commercial theatre producer from London and a digital designer from the East Midlands and Nottingham. So we're also bringing in some film production specialists and consultants within digital design fields. So those are the range of people we have that. We run regular writing together sessions and reading groups to support students in organising your time and being able to work together with other people on the programme. So yeah, that's where we're at. Hopefully that's enough information to give you a sense of what the programme is.
Thank you so much. That really gave, I think, a sufficient amount of information to be interested in the course. So that is some of the courses that are available in January start. I will put a link to all of the courses that we have in the business and law faculty in the chat. So it's a full list of everything that you can start in January, and I'll also be putting list of courses that Janie's teaching. So obviously, yeah, both the sort of January intake and going forward September if someone wants to start a little bit later on. We do have a bit of a Q&A session. I've got a couple of questions for you, if that's okay, because Stephen left us. It would have to, unfortunately, be all you, Jenny. I hope you're okay with that. So let's go to the question number 1, and this is, why is the January start course 15 months and September is 12 months? Is there something that you potentially will be able to answer for us? I think it's the sort of the answer would be quite similar for all of the courses, nevertheless, of which one it is.
Yeah, it's because of the way the academic year works. So we don't teach over the summer. So the semesters run January to May, and then from the summer, so people will work on their final major projects over the summer from June to September, and then there's taught modules from the end of September through to the following January. So the January starts do their first semester from January to May, then have the summer off, and then have the second semester from September to January, and then do the final major project from February to May in the second year. And that's just because we don't have the capacity to have taught modules over the summer.
That makes sense. Perfect. So does that mean pretty much that you have more time to think of your dissertation because you've got summer off while students starting in September don't?
Well, possibly, although I would say that your final major project is meant to be a synthesis of everything you've learned on the program, really. So what we want to make sure is that everybody's had all the taught program input before they move on to their final major project. But yes, I mean, it does give you that extra time. We've found in the past that January start students have taken the opportunity to involve themselves in travel. So the International Office and the International Student Support Office do run quite a lot of travel opportunities over the summer to visit Europe and other places. Or we also have lots of volunteering opportunities that happen over the summer. And particularly in the creative industries, we work extremely closely with the creative industry sector in Leicester. So if students were looking for some volunteering internship opportunities, then we could definitely facilitate that over those summer months if people wanted to build experience and contacts.
That's wonderful. Something to definitely take a part in. Definitely will sort of enhance the student experience. Kind of similar question in that case, or maybe on this similar topic is, can I do a placement as a part of the course starting in January?
So the executive company project is essentially a placement. So that's the 3-month final major project. So yes, you can definitely do that. And if you wanted to do a volunteering opportunity, so an internship over the 3 months, we could in the summer we could facilitate that too.
That's perfect. Thank you. So the last question is potentially a little bit the boring one, but I believe that sort of a lot of people would be definitely interested in that. And it is, are the fees the same for January and September start, especially considering the fact that it's a longer course?
As far as I'm aware, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Not my area of expertise, I'm afraid, but yes, I think they are exactly the same. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, just to answer that question as well, more generally about all the courses in business and law, all the courses will, the fees will be the same nevertheless of the sort of intake. So yeah, it's not something to sort of take under consideration when choosing whether it's September or January. Yeah, and that's all of the questions that we have. Thank you so much, Janie. It was wonderful to have you here. Thank you to Stephen as well, who left us in the middle of the session, but it was great to have him as well. If you have any questions, I'll put the contact details to both of the Janie and Stephen, so you can contact them if you have any questions regarding the courses. The links are in the chat as well if you want to find out more information about those courses or anything else available in January start. And yeah, thank you so much. And hopefully just join another live stream today because there's a couple of them going on.
Okay. Thanks very much. I enjoyed that a lot.
Have a nice day. Bye.